Welcome to the Midweek message. We're taking some lessons from the book of Ruth. We're in chapter 3, and I'm reading verses 1 through 6 from the New International Version of the Bible. Ruth chapter 3 and verse 1. One day, Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for. Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you are there until he is finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." "I will do whatever you say," Ruth answered. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. Now we're going to look at these verses individually. Naomi and Ruth are back in Naomi's home area in Judah, around Bethlehem. Ruth is from Moab, of course. Neither of them have husbands anymore. Naomi lost not only her husband, but her 2 sons. Ruth lost a husband. And Ruth has been gleaning in the field of a relative of theirs, unbeknownst, by the name of Boaz, as a way to help support her mother-in-law and herself in this time of deprivation. Now, she's been doing this for a bit, and Ruth chapter 3 and verse 1 says, "One day Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi said to her, 'My daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for.'" Naomi says, our gleaning is good. It has helped us. Boaz is watching out for us. But we've got to find a permanent home for you so that you'll be provided for. Naomi is not thinking of herself. She's thinking of Ruth. She has already said one time to Ruth and Orpah, her other daughter-in-law that remained in Moab, she said, "You girls don't need to stay with me because I'm too old. I'm not going to have any more children, and you'd be too old for them even when they grew, and so you have to fend for yourselves." And now she's saying, since Ruth stayed with her, she's saying, "I need to provide a place for you, Ruth, so that you will be looked after." Verse 2. "Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor." Going to verse 3. "Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you are there until he is finished eating and drinking." Now, Naomi has got a plan. She said, "This is how we're going to try to work it out, Ruth. Boaz, with whose women and whose workers you've worked for a while, is a relative of ours, and this is God's provision for us." And there was a practice, in the book of Leviticus is given the law of the kinsman redeemer, and that is that a relative could help their family, their extended family, out in times of need. It's called a kinsman redeemer, and Boaz would be fulfilling that role if he indeed did provide for them long term. So she's got a plan. She says Boaz is going to be working with his barley on the threshing floor tonight. "Ruth, you go and get dressed up, get washed up, perfumed, and go down there, but don't let him know that you're there." In other words, hide yourself or just make sure that he doesn't see you. And now verse 4. "When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." She said, Naomi said to Ruth, "Watch Boaz while he's working, and when he lies down, note that place. And when he is he's asleep or he's resting, he's gotten settled down, uncover his feet, take the blanket off his feet, and lie down, and he'll tell you what to do." Now, what this is essentially is it is a marriage proposal to Boaz from Ruth. The part about taking the blanket off his feet is has the imagery of putting herself under his covering, under his blanket of protection. Lie down at his feet. And this is essentially a marriage proposal to the people in this day. And so verse 5 said, I will do whatever you say. Ruth said, I'm going to do it. Verse 6, so she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. So Ruth is essentially, under the direction of Naomi, under her initial idea, proposing marriage to Boaz so that their households will unite. The question is, what will Boaz say?